Hello, I'm Ollie and this is Criminology, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, awesome trash, I want to give you an update on the Garbology. So the Garbology, if you don't know, is the anthology of short fiction I will be publishing with the fantastic Troy Tradup at the beginning of August to coincide with the third Garb August reading event. Garb August being an event dedicated to reading trashy books. So Troy approached me last Garb August to suggest it might be a fun thing to do to publish an anthology of trashy fiction to coincide with Garb August. And the Garbology was born. To give it its full title, so its full title is Criminology Presents Garbology, the Garb August Anthology of Awesome Trash. It's going to be a really fun project and a really fun book to read. And I can say with complete assurance that it's going to be a really fun book to read because I've read all of the stories that are in it. So as you probably know, if you've watched the channel, we opened up for submissions at the end of Garb August last year. The submission closing date for stories was the end of the year, 31st of December, and we've now finished going through all of the stories and have shortlisted them. So all of the authors who submitted a story have been contacted. Sadly, we couldn't accept all of the stories. There were just too many of them, and that is in no way a comment on the quality of the stories that were rejected. All the stories we had were really entertaining, but we had to draw the line somewhere, unfortunately. So we will be taking into the final collection 34 of the stories that were submitted, which sadly means 28 of those stories that were submitted won't be in the final collection. But Troy and I both had a really good time reading all of them. So if you did submit a story, thank you very much. It's really great that so many people wanted to be part of this. So yeah, 34 stories will go through into that final book, which will be published on the 1st of August 2024. So it will be available both as a paperback through Amazon and as a Kindle book. We haven't done anything, we haven't even thought really about pricing and things like that, but we will try and make it affordable whilst obviously covering our costs. So in terms of what will be in the book then, so 34 stories, as I've said, we're grouping those into 5 categories. We may tweak the names of these categories slightly as we go through the kind of editing process and pulling the final book together. But at the moment, those category names are Adults Only, Crime Doesn't Pay, Monster Mash, Weird Menace, and When Animals Attack. So that gives you a flavour of the kind of trashy fiction that you'll be able to get your hands on come the 1st of August. And in terms of the authors, I won't name any of the authors who are going to be in the final collection. A few people who've got channels and Instagram accounts and things like that have put up, little announcements to let people know that their story was accepted. There are some booktubers that you will recognise in the collection. There are some authors who've been published previously that are in the collection, and there are a load of people who haven't been published previously, which is fantastic. I love the fact that this is gives people an opportunity to get their fiction out there, and I think for many people it has given them the kind of kick they needed to have a go at writing and to see what it felt like. So yeah, really looking forward to everyone out there having an opportunity to read all of these stories. I do have a story in there myself as well. I won't tell you what it's called or what it's about, but I did write a story. I'm quite pleased with it. It's very silly, but I am quite pleased with it. Okay, so that's where we've got to so far. Our latest milestone is, and you may have seen that I shared a video that Troy put up about this the other day. So we are now open for art submissions. So there are 2 types of art we're after. One is cover art, obviously, but we also want to have interior art. So we want to have a piece of artwork in the book for each of those 5 sections that I talked about. So as a reminder, those were Adults Only, Crime Doesn't Pay, Monster Mash, Weird Menace, and When Animals Attack. So the cover artwork will be full colour. The interior artwork will be in black and white, and I've got from here from Troy the list of kind of guidelines for art submissions. These are hosted on my website criminolly.com, so you can click on the link in the description for this video to check them out if you're interested. I'll be honest, I don't understand all of the terms in this, but I'll go through it very quickly for you. So yes, we are open for art submissions. The basic proportions that you should be keeping in mind if you want to submit are 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. So that will be the size of the finished book, kind of trade paperback size. You can submit art, you can create the artwork in any medium you want, but you should submit it as a JPEG with a minimum resolution of 300 dpi, which I think stands for dots per inch. I don't know, something like that. It's like the resolution of the picture. You can, so if the chosen image was created using an electronic program such as Illustrator or Photoshop, we may request the raw unlayered files in their native format if we accept the artwork, just so we can make sure we integrate it correctly into the book. Some notes for you. So images may be racy, but no full nudity. So you can use AI to generate images, but it's not our preference. Let's put it that way. We'll accept AI generated images, but it wouldn't be our preference. Do disclose when you submit that it's an AI generated image, and let us know what software you use to generate it as well, please. We're only after images, so don't worry about putting any text on them. We'll add that ourselves later, like the title of the book or the section headers. So it's purely the artwork we're after. As with AI generated, we will accept artwork created using stock images, but it wouldn't be our preference. We discourage it, but we'll accept it and take a look at it. But again, please provide the licensing information for the images you've used if they're stock images, so that we know that we've got the rights to use them in the book. In terms of the number of entries you can make 6 entries, but those 6 entries are one for the cover and one for each of the 5 sections. So we don't want people generating like 300 AI images and spamming us with those. So total of 6, but those should be 1 cover image, 5 internal images. Obviously, if you don't want to submit 6, if you only want to go for one of the internal sections or one of or the cover, that's absolutely fine. As noted, so the dimensions of the book will be 5.5 inches wide by 8.5 inches high. So we will need to be able to crop the image to get to that proportion. And this is one of the things I don't understand. So it will need to be reproducible at full size with a 0.25 inch bleed on all sides. I'm not sure what that means. Very technical. Sounds very impressive. But yeah, hopefully if you're an artist, you will know what that means. I think it means you need to have a bit of a gap around the edge so it doesn't kind of spill over the edge of the page. And here's another thing I don't understand. So the cover image may be full colour CMYK. I don't know what that means. Or black and white. So in terms of themes, hopefully, if you've watched my videos, you get the concept of trashy fiction. You'll get the kind of things we are after. So you've got those category headings to give a sense of the kind of stuff that will be in the book and the kind of things the kind of images we would want for those category headings. You may also want to think about, for the cover in particular, about the theme of trashy fiction in particular, and of people reading trashy fiction and things like that. So that may give you some ideas. I think that's probably it. So in terms of submissions, so as I say, all of this information is available on my website, link in the description to the video. Submissions should be made via JPEGs emailed to the Garbology email address, which is garbology2024@gmail.com. There's a closing time and date for this, because we had a load of people. So we had the vast majority of the entries we had for the stories were like right at the end. If you drew like a graph of time to the number of submissions, it would be like that. And in particular, we had people who played a bit fast and loose with the concept of when the end of the 31st of December was. So we did have some which, depending on where you were in the world, were technically into the 1st of January. So the closing time and date is 10 p.m. CST, what's that, Central Standard Time, on May the 15th, 2024. So you've got a bit of time. We are at the beginning of March now, so you've got over 2 months. So hopefully that's enough time to create some fantastic art. When you submit, let us know if it's a cover image or an interior image you're submitting. I think that is about it. Oh, okay, sorry, one final thing. So, and this is important. So by submitting, you agree to one-time non-exclusive use of your image by Tough Times Publishing, the publisher of the book. You retain copyright of the image and you can use it again, for other things, but we have the right to use it in the book. And in terms of compensation, so we're not able to pay people for artwork, just as we weren't able to pay people for stories because we haven't got any money for this. But you will receive one ebook copy of the book and 2 paperback copies if your art is accepted. So hopefully that's all clear. If there's any questions, do let me know in the comments below, or you can email that garbology2024@gmail.com email address. Troy is far more clued up than I am about stuff like this, so that may be a better option, but I'll try and answer any questions in the comments as well. Hopefully that's given you all you need. Really looking forward to seeing the artwork that people come up with. We've had a few things come through already which have been really interesting. So yeah, chuck some stuff at us and we'll see what we get. I think that's it. So I will leave it there and say, as always, thanks very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're reading good stuff, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.